love stories, the good ones, of course. And I'm bringing them to you only on Matjiua. Jarmaine or Jarmaine? I see you write it with the A on Instagram, but then it's Jarmaine in your email.
Yeah, I I think I had, what do you call it, identity. I had an identity crisis.
Okay.
For some reason, I didn't like the fact that my name was spelled with an A.
Yes.
Because there's nobody else's name that's spelled with an A. So I thought my name was wrongly given to me by my father.
Okay.
But then only now I realized it is my name, so I have to accept it. So when I opened the Gmail account, I spelled it with an E. Yes. So it was just a young identity crisis, but I've accepted my name as is.
Okay, with an A.
With an A, so it's Jarmaine.
Yes. But it's such a lovely name, and I think you're the first Jarmaine that I personally know. I don't know a lot of them.
Oh.
Yes. Jarmaine, I really love your energy. I love your spirit. I have seen you, or we've met only once, I think. Yeah.
We've met twice, but we've officially met the once.
Yes, yes. And I just loved you, and then I started following you, and I just come to realize that this girl is a pilot. She is flying the big machine, you know? And that was just so inspiring because I think I only know very, very few ladies who are pilots, specifically the Namibian ones. So it's kind of like almost very depressing when you're always reading the newspapers, or when you're always online in social media. The kind of headlines that we are constantly having in our feeds, they're so negative, and especially when it comes to women. So I thought that, I think I should dedicate just a few sessions on just talking about women and women who are empowered, to empower the young girls, or to empower women in relationships, in abusive relationships, or just to change the narrative. So to see that here's a flying lady, and then she's a mother to this wonderful, beautiful, cute boy, I just wanted to know, who is Jarmaine and what is your story?
Oh, okay. Jarmaine is the name.
Yeah.
Mbako is the surname.
Yeah.
I am 27 years old. Birthday is tomorrow.
What?
So I'll be 28 tomorrow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
When did you know, or how did you come about being a pilot? Why being a pilot? Why the pilot?
When I Poly, then Poly now, I was doing IT. But because of financial problems, I had to drop out after the first semester.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got a temporary job at the Directorate of Civil Aviation.
Okay.
And I was a temporary typist.
Okay.
Just after high school.
Yes.
So then the next year, they advertised bursaries. So the bursaries were for aircraft maintenance engineering as well as pilot training. So I decided to do pilot training because my boss at that time, he was the director. He told me that I could not become a pilot because I'm a woman. What if I fall pregnant? Blah, 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 blah. Which I understood, but it just gave me reason enough to follow through to what I would want to do. Because I'm a practical person. I mean, if you look at IT and you look at piloting, it's more practical. And the subjects I had in high school allowed me to do piloting.
Yeah.
So I applied for the bursary. I was shortlisted. But most our government, they always take long.
Yes.
It was only awarded in 2015. I fell pregnant in 2013, gave birth to my son 2014. The bursary wasn't yet awarded 2015. Then it was awarded. So everything happened in divine timing. 2015,
Exactly.
I got the
That is definitely what I call divine timing. I mean, imagine your boss telling you that you can't become a pilot. What if you get pregnant? And then while you imagine, yeah.
So I got the bursary in 2015. I started training. A lot happened that time. I didn't finish as fast as I could because our industry is very small.
Yeah.
We don't have enough instructors. We don't have enough aircrafts and stuff. So yes, I continued my training. I got my private pilot license in 2017. And the reason I'm in Pretoria is
Yes.
because I have to pursue my commercial pilot license.
Oh, wow. The commercial pilot license, that means that you can be a pilot that flies national aircrafts like Air Namibia or South African Airways.
Yeah, the difference is with a private pilot license, you cannot fly for money. I cannot be remunerated for it. So I can only fly to train, to build my hours, just to become more competent and stuff. But for the commercial license, you can fly commercially and get paid for it.
Correct. I see. All right, that's the difference. So it's not necessarily an issue of flying a national airline. It's more being able to be remunerated for your services.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. And so far, how has the journey been? The studies. I know it hasn't been a straightforward thing, but what were some of the challenges that you faced during the course, during the time that you were completing your course?
The problems I faced, I'm a netball player as well. So during my training, I was playing for Tigers. Okay. And unfortunately, I injured my knees. So both of my knees were injured, which meant that it's okay, which meant that I had to be grounded. I couldn't fly because you have to use your legs as part of your controlling of the aircraft. So I couldn't fly for about a year, which delayed my training. And after I got my PPL, there was no money available from the government. So private pilot license.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. At least we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After I got the PPL, I couldn't. The government withdrew. Not withdrew. They didn't have money, so I was grounded for another 2 years. Yeah. Which I had to write other submissions, motivation letters. I used to go to offices. Like it was a whole struggle. If you want something, you have to physically be there, physically do the work, write the submissions, write the motivation.
Yes.
You would get rejection letters. But at the end, it all worked out. I managed to secure funding. I chose South Africa because there was money available at one of the flight schools because a lot of students fall out. It's not really for everyone.
I can imagine.
Like, for example,
look at all those challenges. We already have, you know how our admin is in our country and services. So for you to be able to keep pushing through all those challenges of being rejected, and then we have the system that's also, not the very best. So you must be really one determined lady. You must really want it with your whole heart to make sure that you really go through it all the way to the end. You must be. Yes.
What motivates me more, it's not like, don't take it in a bad way, but when we started training for the PPL in 2015, we were about, say, 6 girls. They all dropped out.
Really?
They all dropped out. I was the only one who finished in my class, yes. So it was for various reasons. You would start the training and then you'd realize it's not for you, or simple things like your medical condition. Like if you have period cramps, you can't go and fly. Right. If you're going through an emotional situation, you can't fly. So those are factors that also hinder the training and why students fall out and stuff.
It's quite a challenge, hey? So
It's
why are you not able to fly when you've got cramps? Is it because then you are distracted? You can't give it your full attention, and that's very, very important in flight.
exactly, because imagine you are on the controls and you have a cramp here. You can't do this because your attention is supposed to be outside. You're
Right.
supposed to be mentally, because you have to do a lot of um, controlling and what do you call it? Yeah, basically you have to do a lot of things at the same time, multitask.
Multitask, yeah. And actually
Yes,
focusing,
you have to,
you need a great amount of focus while you're multitasking. Okay.
definitely. So
Wow.
those small
No,
things are, you know,
it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. And so far, I mean, I know you must love it to want to be able to go through all those challenges and to be able to be the last woman standing out of six, when you applied, when you started. So, what drives you then? I can imagine that you love it, but what do you think gives you that drive to really want to do this?
oh, my son, definitely number one. He's the reason why I'm doing all of this. I mean, he looks up to me. He feels I'm his hero. He once told me I inspire him. So just his presence and him being in my life is what
Oh my.
drives me. Secondly, I have a very supportive family. I
Mm-hmm,
have very supportive friends.
mm-hmm.
I have very supportive colleagues and mentors. I have a very strong support system.
That's very important. That's very, very
That's
important. And I think that that's one of the things that makes it easy for people to drop out or to not push through stuff is when you only have yourself to depend on. Sometimes that can be overwhelming for a lot of people when you don't have a strong support system. But tell me, how old is
mm,
your boy?
he's 6.
Wow, wow. And is his father around? Is he present, or are you playing the mommy and daddy role? How's that? What is it? If you don't mind me
I,
asking, but I
no,
think
no,
it's
no,
important.
don't
Yeah.
worry.
Okay.
It's so sad. It's so sad because we're talking about issues that are going on, and
Mm.
like my situation with the father of my child wasn't easy.
Yeah.
I was in an abusive relationship, physically and mentally. That's why I left him. I left him when my son was 6 months.
Wow.
So ever since I took over the role of mother and father,
Mm.
but my mom actually helped me because she understands that I need to finish my school and everything. So my son's like it was 1 year he would stay with me, another year he would stay with my mom. 1 year he would stay with me, another year with my mom.
Wow.
So for the past 2 years he's with my mom because I had delays with going to school and finishing and all of that. So currently now he is with my mom.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a coincidence, hey, that we're speaking about we're just talking about this, and really I have no idea. I had no idea. But I think it's just pretty amazing for me to be speaking to you today. How was it so easy for you to be able to walk away from the relationship when mentally and physically you were being abused and you were a new mother? He's the father of your son. How
Mm.
how did you manage to walk away from it so easily, or how did you manage? Yeah.
I don't think it will get easier if I start talking.
My God.
But yeah, In 20, in 2012,
Yeah.
I lost my father to passion.
True.
So,
Ha-
passion killing.
your father.
Yes, yes. So, he was killed with his girlfriend, and the man that killed them hung himself. So, me being in an abusive relationship, I told myself, I can't die through this if I lost my father through something like that. So that was the reason why I walked away, because I didn't want to end up the way my dad ended up.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm very, very sorry. Wow. So
It's
what I
actually the
get
first time
is
I'm
that
about it.
you instead of using your past experience and to say that this is probably my fate, you just took it upon yourself to say that I refuse to be another statistic in this. Some people sort of like see
Yes.
things happening and they sort of think that maybe this is life. Maybe this is going to be my fate. My father passed away in this manner. So perhaps I'm doomed to end up like my father, and they still stick it through. But somehow you had that,
Yeah.
you had a completely different approach, and you said, not me, not this way again.
Yeah.
So
True.
I think that's very important. I think
Yeah.
and a lot of us desire to have that kind of power. I personally have been in a situation where I felt abused, and for me, the one thing that made me say that I will not do this is because I had witnessed people in relationships suffer at the hands of their partners, and I've
Same here.
always told myself I'm not going to allow myself to be in such a situation. So the moment when I sensed that this was happening to me, I completely walked away from it. But I understand that it's not a lot of people who have that strength to say, I'm going to walk away from it. So if I to know somebody who has survived that and has walked away and has used that kind of, perception to say, not me, it makes me feel like there is hope.
Mm.
So what do you think
There
sometimes,
is.
where do you, where what sort of contributes to a lot of people just deciding to stay, even though it's difficult for them?
You know, love is a very good thing and a bad thing, because once you're in love, you're easily manipulated. And once you're manipulated, your choices are not going to be the same. So, as much as we can sort of put blame on the female for staying, the blame is more on the men for manipulating that person. It starts with stages.
Yes.
You would first be distant from your family and friends, and once you distant from those people, those are the ones that talk sense into you. So
Yes.
once you distant from those people,
Game over.
it goes downhill from there.
Yeah,
It's game
because
over. So
basically
the
we all,
men have the
no,
men
you're right.
should really also be speaking about these things, because they are it's them. They play with our minds, they play with our emotions, they just play, they just twist it around, and then you end up blaming yourself. You end up telling yourself, no, it's all my fault because he said I did this, but knowing very well you didn't do anything. So the manipulation becomes so bad that you don't even believe in yourself anymore.
My goodness.
It's I don't know how to but personally, I can say I'm a strong person. One of my habits that also saved me is because I love reading, and I
You love
love
you
reading
love to
not
read.
only novels, but yes, I specifically read self-help books
Oh,
because of such problems.
wow.
It
Yes.
gives you more confidence, it gives you more strength. Then okay, but I'm supposed to be loving myself. I'm supposed to know what my
Exactly.
worth is. These are things you can only teach yourself if you're open to reading. Yes, other people can tell you, but I don't think it's the same if it doesn't come from you.
Yes. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
No, you're so right. You're so right. And speaking of self-help books, a lot of I know people who find the self-help books as though, no, that's too cliche. It's telling me what I already know. I really love self-help books
Yeah.
because they sort of like serve. It's like an energy booster. I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
It should be obvious or basic knowledge.
Yes.
But the moment when somebody else is saying it in a book and they're using their experiences, they're using their examples, it's just, for me, it's another level. It's on another level. They are really empowering. So I think the one culture that we need to cultivate in our women or the young girl culture of reading. If you have a niece, if you have a daughter, if you have friends, I think it's important to always have discussions about, so what book are you currently reading, or what book has inspired you the most?
Are you
Have
reading?
that question, have that conversation with young girls, because when we do that, I think we, as you said, it really opens up a whole lot of it opens you up in a different, on another level. So you loving reading, has it been something that you have had since you were young, or when did you develop that love for reading?
It really started at a young age. This how can I say? When you do good in a subject, you'd get a voucher. So the school that I was at, they would always give us vouchers for CNA to get novels and storybooks and stuff. So it started there.
That's nice.
And
what
then it would go Emma Wagenoot.
Oh, okay.
Primary school.
Good to hear. Good to know that.
And my grandparents also loved reading magazines. So they would buy the Drum and the Huisgenoot every single week. So there was always something to read at home. The newspapers, there was always something to read at home. So I think it started there.
Yeah. No, I think that's very important. That's really, really important. I remember growing up, and we had library teachers reading to us stories, and they would be so captivated, and they would be really into the story. I had an aunt, she had studied in the States, and when she came back, she got me a library card at the National Library, and she would actually make a trip with me to the library. So I also had a reading culture from an early age. And then my stepfather always used to make sure that I read the newspaper. Make sure that you read the newspaper, Matjiua, or watch the news. He would ask me, did you read today's newspaper? And that was important. The Drum magazines, the Huisgenoot magazines, these are magazines that our parents used to buy, or holy, what's the word? Like they were dedicated, committed to buying these magazines. But nowadays, we don't have parents buying magazines at home. We don't have that, do we?
True.
Our kids
like the only magazine I buy now is the Women's Health magazine. That's all.
Is it? Okay. And for your son, do you read?
And at my place, when I was at my place, like I stayed with my son during the lockdown period. So I don't watch TV. That's just something I told myself. There's nothing that a TV can really teach me. I already have a phone. So I don't watch TV. There was no TV in my apartment. My son knew it. My family members knew it, but they thought it was so weird. But he managed. I went to exclusive books, and I got in 5 nice books, to a point where he would actually ask me to read him a bedtime story every single night.
Imagine.
You see, if the books are there, then it allows the child to say, okay, there's a book there. I want to find out what's in that book. He already has his favorite book. And even though he now, he didn't know how to read, but just because I read to him, he memorizes the words, and now he can tell the story off by heart.
Wow. It's talking to you. It's really, really great. Do you know, I told my husband, because the people around you really do influence you. I told my husband that I don't want a TV at home, because the TV it's just a disturbance more than it is anything. And I learned that through my boss. And he has this daughter of his who is an A+ performer. Such a young girl, very committed, a national swimmer, and they don't have a TV at home. The only time that they sit together as a family to watch TV is when there's a specific movie that they have gotten. So most of the time, their daughter is either reading books, or she is training for her swimming, or But you come in most of our houses, and the TV is like the centerpiece of every household.
On the whole day.
Wake up and they switch on the TV. something that I just cannot understand. It irks me. I don't like it. So we did a trial at home,
Same here.
and I said, we're not going to pay for the DSTV. If anything, we can watch NBC now and then. And at first, it was so difficult because my husband likes to watch the news and they want to watch soccer, all of that. But then after a few months, of not watching TV, the kind of quality time that you even have with your family, you can't compare it to anything else. When you speak to somebody, you really have their attention. The kids, they go through all their books, they read all of them, and I think what we're teaching them in the end is more valuable than what we think is normal. Having a TV is normal. But the first thing that when you tell people that you don't have a TV or you don't have a DSTV, they find you very, very weird. But in the long run, it's amazing.
There's so many benefits towards it because you can look for other activities to do and not just be stuck in a house watching TV all day.
Exactly. There's the mental benefits of you're not feeding your mind with junk all the time or being in autopilot. And there's the physical benefits because kids play outside. They try to make use of something that's there and they try to create something out of it. Or they cycle in the street. They use their bicycles to cycle. And I have a trampoline at home. They love that trampoline. So I feel that we have a big role to play when we're raising children. I think that what you're doing with your son and what you have done with your life, I think it's just testimony of good things that have happened to you, that are happening to you. And I just feel that we should be having more of these conversations. We should be normalizing some of these trends. My gosh, speaking to you, you inspire me so much. And your story, I think, is beautiful. We need to hear your story. Everybody needs to hear your story. It's not about making you popular. For me, I am really about impact. If one person can be inspired by your journey, for me, that's enough. If they see it today, if they watch it today, or if they have to watch this interview 10 years from now, for me, that's the most important thing. I want to be able to make sure that somebody hears your story and they can get strength from it. Do you understand? Because imagine being told by your boss that you can't become a pilot because you'll fall pregnant, falling pregnant, losing your father in such a way, giving you strength to endure your own situation, and being the best mother that you can possibly be to your son. I think this is for me, this is everything. And your lifestyle, the way that you're living your life, not having a TV. Thank God, thank goodness. Sorry, I don't like to use the Lord's name in vain. Thank goodness that having a TV, having a big TV, it's like you've made it in life. So if you can speak to somebody who's having a different narrative like that, like the one that you're having, for me, I think that's powerful. It's something that if we started the train, it could start moving a bit. We could start normalizing it. Somebody will try and say, okay, let me test this thing that Jarmaine and Matjiua were talking about, not having a TV.
Yeah.
And in that way, we influence change, positive change.
True. True. No, I'm humbled and I'm really grateful that you actually noticed me and decided to
I see you and I'm
me.
looking at your page. I'm like, wow, she's doing something great with her life, and I wish more people would be doing that. Really.
Thank you so much. And
if there is one thing that you would tell a woman out there who's finding it difficult to stand on her 2 feet, or who does not have the support system that you had, what is the one thing that you would want to tell the girl or the woman out there who's really in a situation and she's challenged? What is the one motivation that you can give her?
Yeah, there's a higher power, ne? There's really a higher power. God is alive. God is here. All you have to do is really go down on your knees and pray. Pray with intentions. Say what you want. Follow through. even if you have to fast, stay away from certain things, the change will happen. It's just your belief also. I can't force somebody, you know, we also have different beliefs, different religions and stuff like that. But there is a higher power, whether it's God, whether it's the universe, you just have to make your intentions clear. Speak out, speak it into existence. If you want change, speak the change that you want. And also, it also comes from you. You should also act the part. You can't expect to say something, but you do the total opposite. So it also starts with you and what you believe in.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jarmaine.
Thank you, Matjiua. We'll communicate.
No, thank you. I wish you all the best, and I know that you're going to kick. Sorry, that's not what I'm saying. But I know that you are going to pass. You're going to complete this certificate, and you're going to become a commercial flyer. And we are going to be so proud of you. And we are going to come to you for guidance, for career guidance.
Thank you so much.
And really, you are doing a marvelous job. I'm so proud of you. I wish you all the success. So please go ahead and finish what you've started and do it like a boss.
Thank you so much. I will. I'll never forget your words. I'm more about also inspiring young girls. I do career fairs. That's why I have a separate page, Aviation Namibia, just so that I can inform the public, you know.
Wow.
So
I'm really
I
will follow it. Aviation Namibia. Is it on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be sure to follow that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jarmaine. Thank you so much.
You should have a blessed day.